She is known for being a pro in Phasmophobia, but she is even known better for being a troll. And by a troll, I don't mean maliciously. She's always found either trolling or like juking one of our mutual friends, JR Cash, in Phasmophobia. Her theories in Phasmophobia are crazy. We're gonna talk about this and more in tonight's episode. Please welcome Cassie, aka Countess Cassie, to tonight's episode.
Hello.
Hello.
I would never troll anyone.
That's what they all say. So the first thing I ask is, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I've been outside, which sometimes stresses me out a bit because I sometimes get anxiety. But I had some time to recover at home, so I'm doing okay right now. Thank you.
Yeah, so being outside sometimes causes you anxiety, from what I understand.
Yes.
Yeah, same here,
Yes.
kind of.
Yeah, it's been kind of a big topic since the pandemic.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm always a stay-at-home kid, but like in 2016, I got back in touch with like some of my old friends, and we started going out. And up until like probably pre-pandemic, I always stayed out till like probably 4 a.m. because I used to finish my shift at like midnight. So
Yeah.
everything drastically changed since 2020, and like I'm always just like I'd rather stay at home since then, because I don't know, like it's kind of dangerous outside sometimes, especially at night. Yeah. So can you tell me about how you discovered Twitch, how you decided to become a streamer, and a little bit about the channel, please?
Of course. I discovered Twitch when I was in a guild playing Elder Scrolls Online. And that guild also did some streaming at some point. And they invited everyone to join in and to come watch. And I didn't have an account at that time, so I made an account. That's also where the name comes from, because Countess was a title in Elder Scrolls Online connected to buying and furnishing homes. So I had 3 very big homes in the game, and that gave me that title, Countess.
Oh, interesting.
And that's what I decided to call the account at that time, and it kind of stuck.
Interesting. How long have you had that account? Like, do you remember the year?
I could look it up. I can't remember exactly right now, but probably 4 or 5 years, perhaps.
Okay.
Something around that, yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, where did the name Countess Cassie come from, but you already answered this. So
Yes.
so I assume your first game that you ever streamed was Guild Wars, right? Or is it something different?
No. I streamed Phasmo. I was watching a lot of Phasmo, and
Okay.
I met a lot of people through that, and sometimes played with streamers on their streams. And then one of my friends said, "Oh, you should start streaming as well, because you know so much about the game, and you need to totally share this with people." And she kept nagging me about it, and then I decided to give it a go. And we kind of did it a little bit secretly. I think she was streaming as well at the time, and I was streaming along with her, but we didn't really tell anyone yet. And I just kind of, yeah.
How did you build up such an experience or such an expertise in Phasmo. Like, can you tell the listeners what level did you prestige at before the update, the major update and everything?
Yes, my old level before they reset the levels and introduced the new prestige system was 66,666.
Wow.
Which is, as far as I know, one of the highest levels that people reached. I've heard about one, I think, Asian streamer who had like 80,000, I think. But he was already like 40,000 before I even properly started leveling. So
wow.
I don't think I had a chance to catch up to that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know one other person who I think ended on exactly the same level.
Yeah, and like Phasmophobia is very popular or very known to have, as the community calls it, features. To this day,
yes.
Even to this day, like you still find glitches or features or stuff like that. What's the most funny / probably game breaking or probably like the weirdest, most annoying feature you've found in Phasmo so far?
Probably the most funny was what they now finally patched out with the last update. That was getting into walls on your own with a lot of doors.
Oh wow! People can still do that. I heard if they are playing kind of like in VR or something.
Maybe VR was always a bit different. They always had ways to get into places. I think it's just the VR player model behaves very differently to the regular player model. So I've never played VR, so I don't know exactly, but I've heard a lot about glitches with that.
Yeah. So you mostly do Phasmophobia, but as I said, what other games do you play, have you played, or are you willing to try in the future that may be out of your comfort zone, maybe your first time, or you're willing, or you're looking at them?
Well, yes, on stream I've mostly played Phasmo and some similar games to Phasmo, like Forewarned, and much less known ghost hunting game called Remnant Records.
Yeah.
I have played on special occasions. I have played other games. I've played The Secret of Monkey Island.
I remember one time when GR raided you, you were playing a game similar, or like a little bit like what's it called? Stardew Valley.
Yes, there was Core Keeper.
Oh yeah,
I played a lot of Core Keeper as well. It's kind of similar to Stardew Valley. It's a bit of a mix between Stardew Valley and Terraria or Minecraft, perhaps. It's like a building, exploring, a pixel top-down kind of game. There's a bit of farming in it, bit of fighting in it. It's a really fun game.
So, speaking of Terraria, have you ever heard of a game called Don't Starve Together?
I actually have that game. I've not played it yet, though.
Oh, this is one of my favorite games of all times. I have probably over 1,000 hours if you combine console and PC hours together in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever need any help, any tips, just let me know, because I really like in 2020 is when I discovered Don't Starve Together, and let's say I've been bullied in a good way into like surviving in the game, because now I kind of like join the game, and if there's like ways for me to just survive, and if it's like snowing or like freezing in the game, and if there's like ways like fire and stuff, I can manage to survive. And if there's food around, sometimes like even the pro players I used to play with always like were shocked to see me like be maybe one of the last people alive in the game. I told him like, okay, so not doing anything helps sometimes, just in the winter time.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do occasionally enjoy survival games as well. Yes, I've played a little bit, not on stream, but I've played a little bit of The Long Dark. Currently playing a lot of Sons of the Forest. I've played the original The Forest game as well. It's kind of my personal survival game experience.
Yeah. Have you played any zombie games?
I've occasionally played Left 4 Dead with friends, but not a lot.
Which one?
And I've
Because they said Left 4 Dead 2 is like the better version of Left 4 Dead.
I think Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 2, yes.
Yeah.
I think it was free at some point on Steam, so I grabbed it.
Not exactly free, but it was like 80 cents. Both games, under $1.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I never actually bought it. I think it was, I don't know, maybe I bought it for a few cents. Maybe that as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that it was maybe free at some point.
Yeah, both games, because I remember very clearly that was probably either at the end of last year or 2022.
Oh, it was a long time ago actually when I got that game.
Okay.
I don't know when. Had it in my library for a long time. It's the only thing I remember about it.
Yeah. So one of the zombie games that I love, or probably I love all the zombie games, but like just to name a few, Dead Rising, probably. I enjoyed Dying Light. I still need to play Dead Island. I still need to finish Dead Island 2 because for some reason I looked into I looked at on Google last night to see if like you can just move a game that you have on Epic from a drive to another drive, and apparently you can, but I don't know why Epic just keeps re-downloading it, even though it shouldn't re-download if you do that, since it's in your account, because my PC at some point just decided to wipe everything.
I think I've actually done that before, move games with Epic. I think what you can do is it was something like you have it on the new drive where you want it, and you let it start the download.
Okay.
And then you pause it or stop it, and then you copy your existing game into that directory, and I think that way you make it think that it already downloaded it. Something like that, because I remember moving some Epic games to another drive, and it was something like that.
Yeah, I tried that last night. I even downloaded at least like either 100 megabytes or 1 gigabyte of it. Then I paused it and I copied from drive E to drive F, and then I probably resumed it. It didn't work, so I shut down Epic, and then reopened it, and it was verifying the game. Then it re-downloaded it. I was like, okay, but I followed the instructions. I don't know.
Okay. You probably Googled the same thing that I Googled then, but for me it worked. Maybe they changed something. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So
there was another zombie game that I liked very much that was called State of Decay. Also a bit of a survival game.
Yeah, I've heard of that. 7 Days to Die is one as well.
I've not played that. I've seen some people play it though. Seems like it's a good game to stream as well. It has like a Twitch integration.
Yeah, and one of our mutual friends, Chessie, streamed it, and we played together, her and I. And we had so much fun in it. I highly recommend you try it. Like this way, probably your community probably can like mess with your game with the extension and stuff.
Yeah.
So what are your limits regarding your streams? Like besides graphic artist bots, what could get someone banned? What would piss you off? What's the big no-no? What's allowed in chat? What isn't?
Well, one of the first things that comes to mind is you've probably seen them in many chats before. People who come in, they say hello, they seem to be very friendly, and then they ask you if they can show you some of their artwork, and it's always the same kind of things that they are saying, and I think these are all scammers. And by now I can already tell from just the way they are saying hello that they're at some point gonna ask about artwork.
Yeah.
And then they always want a Discord, your Discord contact to send you stuff there, and then never saying anything about prices, and it's all very, very sketchy. And this will someone get banned instantly on my channel.
Yeah. I also like started recognizing that speech pattern. Like, hey, how are you doing? What's the game you're playing? And they think they know the game, and then they ask you like what other games you play, when do you stream, and then this is sometimes, if I am a mod for some friends, this is where I ask or say in chat like, hold on, before you continue, you're a graphic artist, like get to the point, are you a graphic artist or not? And then that's where they say yes I am, and then I'm like, bye bitch.
I just don't want to waste my time with that anymore. It's just I think it's very, even if those people actually are graphic artists, which I don't believe. I think most of them are just someone sitting in like a, what would be the chat version of a call center? I don't know.
I don't know.
And they're just going through a list with pre-existing things that they are supposed to say, and then they are trying to sell something that has been prepared, and it's just like a mass-produced thing. I just I've seen that happen more often in like very new channels, very inexperienced streamers that only recently started, and they are happy that someone talks to them, and then they visibly get uncomfortable, and they don't want to be rude, and they it's just I just I just can't stand it when someone's trust in people is abused like this.
Yeah, especially like one other thing that also points or directs you to that issue is like if you click on their username in mod view and it tells you like, for example, account created November 19, they're new, so this is how you know.
Yes.
Yeah. So how many hours per day or week in general do you spend on Twitch besides streaming?
That's a good question. I usually like to have some kind of entertainment on the side when I'm playing a game. I like to have the stream open and listen to someone talk or someone play. I don't watch TV. I rarely watch movies at the moment. So I just like to have streams open. And on average, probably a few hours every day, but I can't say exactly.
Yeah. So
I mean, especially if you're having a hard time going outside, and if you're dealing with anxiety and social anxiety, just having a way to get some entertainment and maybe talk to people and just have a bit of social interaction that way. that can really help.
Yeah. So I usually ask the following question, like about streaming, but since we spoke about Phasmo and you're a pro in it, so to the new people out there who just started playing Phasmo or are thinking about it, what's like a few pieces of advice you'd want to give them?
Most people probably start playing with friends, which is, I think, the best way to start the game, to get used to it a little bit. And for me, it was the same. Some friends just wanted to play something spooky, have a spooky game night, and that was the game we decided on. But if you really want to learn the mechanics, at some point you'll have to give it a try on your own. And there's no shame in, well, what used to be the option back in the day was the old tutorial, which was basically just the very first map, Tanglewood, but with what we would now call a friendly ghost. So now you can just make a custom game with a friendly ghost. Although I think you need a certain level before you can actually make custom games. So that is probably, it might be a problem. I don't think that the developers thought that through very well. But you can still, even if you just play on amateur and just repeat the very first map over and over. I probably played that tutorial like 100 times back in the day, because I was also scared to spend much time, and even with the ghost that couldn't do anything at that time, I was scared to go in there on my own and do things, and I had to learn to get used to the evidence items, how to best get the evidence, how to find the specific room the ghost was in, just get comfortable using the equipment, and just spending time with. I think the biggest factor was just the unknown, not knowing exactly how everything worked. That made me easily startled. So just getting comfortable with the controls, with the equipment. Just you don't have to actually finish the mission. Just go in there as long as you're comfortable. Just get used to everything.
Yeah.
And then I think probably the second best thing is to learn to manage your sanity and to avoid from getting hunted at all, because that was probably the scariest thing to begin with, to that constant threat of the ghost hunting at some point. And when you start out, you don't really know when that will happen, and if you will notice when it actually happens, if it's just a ghost event, if it's a hunt. So just learning to stay in the light as much as possible, just micromanaging the lights in the house, and keeping a constant check on your sanity, and knowing where to go and where to hide if something would actually happen. I think that was the most important thing for me back then. When I got comfortable to the game, I barely got hunted at all. I did play a lot on my own then, and I wanted to learn more. I wanted to get better, and just avoiding to get hunted at all until I really knew how to read what was happening in the house, in the game. I think that was very important.
So this is segment number 2, which is kind of like a lightning round, or let's consider it like kind of like general questions or pop quiz about you.
Mm-hmm.
You can either give like a brief answer or like a more in-depth answer. It's up to you.
Okay.
All right. So do you mind telling me and the listeners what's your daily routine or something that you started doing recently and you keep doing every day?
I usually I get up, I do the dishes because I always try to do the dishes before I go to sleep, but then I'm too tired and I have to do them in the morning. Then I make coffee, make food, and then I just have breakfast in front of the computer, probably listening to a stream, watching a stream. That is the beginning of my daily routine. And I after that I get ready, even if I don't have to go anywhere that day. I still try to always get ready because I feel more comfortable with myself if I'm ready to potentially go out, see someone, just be ready for the day, for anything unexpected that might come up. I just want to,
Yeah. All right.
ready to do things,
Okay.
even if I don't have anything planned.
Yeah, understandable. So if you ever were to be any object or creature, let's say the creature was real or fictional, what would you be and why?
I kind of like vampires.
Nice.
Maybe I would be a vampire.
Yeah, that's nice.
Whenever I have the option to play a vampire in a game, I
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, to me, I always go with like Tuni Pegasus, which is a unicorn with two horns and wings.
Oh,
Yeah. So if you could stay one age forever, what age would you choose?
maybe 29.
Okay. So what's your biggest pet peeve?
I don't.
You can skip if you're blanking out. I don't mind.
Yeah, I
All
can't
right.
really think of anything right now.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Yeah.
So what's one thing you expected from life as an adult when you were a kid, but now it turned out to be completely different?
Oh, I don't know. My it's a thing where my childhood memory is always very blurry, so I don't really know anymore what kind of expectations Yeah.
All right. So what would you do with $1 million?
I would probably live on a farm somewhere, somewhere out in on the countryside, and I would make sure that I have good internet.
Nice, nice. So what's one thing you spend a lot of money on besides games?
I actually don't spend a lot of money in general.
Okay.
The last
fair.
thing I spent a lot of money on was the new computer.
Okay,
So
fair.
kind of games related, I guess.
Well, it's okay. So what's your comfort off-stream game?
Core Keeper.
Okay. So this is a three-part question. What's one of your all-time favorite songs?
All-time favorite songs. Probably a Tool song. Let's
Okay.
say 46 and 2 by Tool.
Nice, nice. Okay, so what's one of your all-time favorite movies?
Wall-E.
WALL-E. I love that movie. I love WALL-E's design in Disney Dreamlight Valley. I mean, his eyes, he's super cute.
Yeah. Probably one of the few movies that I actually watched multiple times as they were in the theater.
Okay. Okay, so what's one of your all-time favorite TV shows or series?
There was I'm gonna not say any of the obvious shows like Breaking Bad or so, because a bit too well known maybe, and everyone lost them. There was a little less known show called Banshee, which was about a little town called Banshee, and recently released from prison, a person came into that town, and in a bar, he met the new sheriff of the town. And the sheriff was from somewhere else. So nobody knew the sheriff, and then the bar got there were people trying to rob the bar, and the sheriff got killed, and so that ex-convict took the identity of the sheriff and became the new sheriff in that town. It was a very fun show. There was a lot of violence in it, but it was very intense. It was very a lot of suspense, and it was a really good show.
Yeah, and since you love vampires, I don't know if you've heard of the show called What We Do in the Shadows.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's a comedy, and it has like vampires in it. It's more of like the style of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like with no laugh tracks in the back or anything, but it is super funny. I think they are either about to release the final season or they're filming it, either or. So I recommend.
Where is that on? Is it on Netflix or?
I don't know. Hold on, let me check. I think because like, hold on. What We Do in the Shadows. It's on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, okay.
Yeah. All right. So, if you had one special superpower, what would it be, and why, and how would you use it?
Well, there's one thing that probably a lot of trans people would say, and that's shape-shifting.
Yeah. All right. So what's something you always wanted to learn but can't find time for?
I like to learn languages, and I would like to learn more languages. But my brain is so occupied with other things at the moment that I can't find the time to sit down and actually learn a new language, or a language that I've started learning before and want to get back to.
Mm-hmm. So what's your biggest insecurity?
Probably embarrassing myself in front of people, which is probably connected to social anxiety. So yeah, and I think streaming helps getting over that.
Yeah, definitely. As an audiovisual student or like graduate, I can tell you that acting, especially at probably younger ages, helps a lot, because I taught a course during one summer back in 2016, I think, where I was teaching probably not preschoolers, like children between the ages of 8 and even teenagers, like up till the age of 16. So one of them came to me one day and he told me like, because I told them to call me like coach or acting coach or whatever. Mm-hmm. So he came to me and he was like, coach, I really feel anxious about like being on stage. What if I mess up? I I told him like, close your eyes, not when you're on stage. Close your eyes, imagine that nobody's around, and just act. And if you mess up, it's your chance to learn. We won't judge you. And it got worse. So I started like giving them exercises like I don't know, like self-confidence. I told him several times, every time, like, just go up on stage, stand there, either look at everyone or just close your eyes and take a deep breath and imagine that like I'm just only there. There's no one else but me, like, watching. And like with time, he started like getting over his fears. And also I told him like, if you don't do it, if you don't face your fears, they will stay with you your whole life. And now he has even more confidence. And like not very recently, but like during the pandemic, because he was not like a kid, he was like 16 or something. So when he turned like probably 20 or 21 later on, like a few years, I received a weird message on WhatsApp saying like, thank you changed my life with the acting tips. And I was able to also come out. And I was like, who is this? And he told me that you taught me back then and I was your student. I'm like, oh my God, I am so proud to this day. So what would you, if you had an alter ego, what would it be named and what would they do?
I mean, I kind of turned into my alter ego.
Okay. So the opposite of what you are like when you're alone or by yourself?
More like, I mean, I think I've not always been Cassie, but Cassie has been with me for many years and kind of was my alter ego when I wasn't out yet. And I became myself who was my alter ego before. So I guess that's that.
Okay. So the next questions are food related. So what is your favorite drink of choice?
I like a fruity lemonade drink.
Nice.
Different flavors of lemonade. I don't like to stay with the same flavor too long. I need to mix it up every now and then.
Nice.
But fruity and a bit sparkly, probably.
Nice. Okay, so what's your comfort or favorite comfort food of all time?
I guess pizza.
What kind of pizza?
I'm vegetarian, so I like to have some vegan salami on it.
Okay.
And some red onions and some corn and hot sauce.
I was waiting for you to say like pineapple, so if JR is listening, he would get like angry or upset about it.
No pineapples.
Oh.
No eating pineapples at all.
Okay.
Sponges live in it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Under the sea.
Fair enough. So what's the weirdest food you've ever had?
The weirdest food I've ever had. I think I've always been a picky eater, so I don't think I've really had any weird food. At least I can't remember anything right now.
Yeah, fair enough. I tried octopus and it was very weird at some point.
I think don't they make them in like rings as well, like fried with
No, those are crabs.
Those are crabs?
Yeah, crabs, like crab rings, or they're not actually onion rings, but they're made out of crabs, or calamari or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, I think.
Calamari, yeah.
Isn't that that's not an octopus, but it's kind of isn't it
You're
a squid?
thinking, I don't know, but I know that there's like two types of crabs, I think. Like there's two types of octopuses, like octopus and squid. And I don't know if oh yeah, no, I think I don't know. Moving on.
I think that's squid, and I've had those in the past at some point. So maybe that's the
Yeah.
weirdest.
Yeah. Okay, so if you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I don't think I could handle that for very long. So, if it's one, probably the pizza I mentioned, because it's just very convenient and comfortable. But I would probably get sick of it at some point.
Okay.
I need to change things up every now and then.
Yeah, you could always like change the ingredients, change the toppings, probably experiment.
Yeah, if that's allowed, yes, then pizza.
Yeah.
Because
All
I
right.
can just change it around a lot.
So, what's your favorite traditional food from your country that you probably want to introduce people to if they're thinking of traveling there, or just any traditional food from where you live?
There is something that I really don't know how to translate at all. It's like it's kind of like, it's a bit like a cake, but you eat it hot, and there's cherries in it, and you put vanilla sauce on top of it.
Yeah, what's the name?
And it's well, in my region we call it Käsemischel.
Okay.
You don't have to understand it at all, but the first thing means cherries.
Okay.
The first part of the word, cherries, and the other is kind of, yeah, I don't know, maybe like just you put it in like what is it called,
The oven?
Yeah, you have it in like a one of those
Microwave or electric ovens or
oval,
something?
in these oval ceramic pots that you can put in the oven. I don't know what they're called right now.
Yeah,
My kitchen vocabulary is very limited, to be honest. I can
that's
never
fair.
remember any kitchen things in English.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. So, this is the mini game segment. I've added a few little mini games to play. First one is similar to Kill, Marry, Sleep with. And I recommend that you grab either a notebook and a pencil or a pen, or if you have Notepad open, just to write down the options for the games that I'm going to name. And in this mini game, I will name a set of 3 games each time. You'll have to tell me which one you'd play, which one you'd delete from existence, or uninstall. It's called, as I said, play, delete, uninstall. And this also includes the whole franchise. And when I say play, you get to keep it. It's always there. You can go back to it, do whatever you want. Delete from existence means it's gone forever for everyone, to a point of no return. You cannot even find it in abandonware. You cannot pirate it. It's even wiped out of everybody's memory. So it doesn't exist anymore. And uninstall, it's kind of similar to a demo where you either choose to play it for a little while and never go back to it, or finish it and you cannot go back to it, but it still exists. You have 3 jokers that allow you to either delete all of the games during one of the questions or keep all of them. You can't uninstall 1 and keep 2, or uninstall 2 or delete 2 and keep 1. You're also free to skip any of these if you feel stuck or blank out on any of the options. We're going to start off with Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Battlefield.
I've never played Battlefield, so I would probably be fine with removing that from existence.
Okay, delete Battlefield.
I think maybe I'll keep Call of Duty because I can play. I think they usually have like a story mode as well, so I could play that on my own, and I'll play some Counter-Strike. I've played a lot of Counter-Strike in the past when it was still.
Yeah.
I started playing it when it was still a mod for Half-Life 1.
Half-Life, yeah. So uninstall Counter-Strike.
Yeah, play it a bit until I get reminded of how toxic the community can be, and then rage quit and delete it.
I mean, fair enough, because from what I know, Call of Duty, the idea for it, or it's like probably the mother of these games, is Counter-Strike. Like it started with Half-Life and Counter-Strike, then Call of Duty followed, and Battlefield is EA, like Electronic Arts' take on these.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Apex, Fortnite, Valorant.
Of those, the only one I've played is Apex, so I would keep that because I did enjoy the characters. Fortnite, in my mind, is kind of the cliches that a lot of those playing that are 13-year-old kids. So bye.
Okay, and
delete that from existence. Yeah. And Valorant, I've not played. I've only seen it. To me, it always looked like bubblegum Counter-Strike. Wow. So I'd probably try it and then
uninstall.
Delete it.
Uninstall, yeah. All right. So PUBG, Overwatch 2, and Halo.
PUBG, Overwatch 2, Halo. Never played any of those, so I don't really have an opinion.
Okay, we can skip. Valheim, Stardew Valley, Core Keeper.
This is a really tough one because I love both Core Keeper and Stardew Valley. I've seen Valheim. I've not played it. It looks like something I would enjoy. I'm gonna use a Joker and keep them all. Can I do that?
Yes, of course. So first Joker is used. You have 2 Jokers remaining. The following are Baldur's Gate, Elden Ring, Diablo.
Baldur's Gate I would definitely keep because I love that game. I love the first, the second, and the third. So yeah, that's definitely a keeper. Elden Ring, I don't like Souls-like games.
Same.
So Elden Ring is not for me.
So delete Elden Ring, yeah.
I don't know which one. I've played a lot of Diablo in the past. I've only played the latest one a little bit when it was like on was it public beta or something like that?
Yeah, beta when it first released last year, I think. Or
I would
the year
probably play that for a bit, delete it again because I don't want to get as deeply into it as I used to play Diablo games, and I would just remove Elden Ring from existence because it's kind of annoying me.
Okay. So the next are horror games. We're gonna start with Lethal Company, Sketch's Contract, and Among Us.
Among Us is a horror game?
Well, yeah, you get to kill. Where they're located in space. All of these games.
I don't know Sketchy's Contract.
It's the same as Lethal Company, but with plushies and less mods.
Okay. Remove Sketchy's Contract from existence. Delete Lethal Company because I've played it again recently and I don't know. I don't really enjoy it that much, so probably delete that. And Among Us can stay because it's occasionally
uninstall Sketchies, delete Lethal, and keep Among Us.
Wait, no, delete Sketchies from existence because I don't even know it, so I wouldn't miss it.
Okay, but I highly recommend you check it out, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Quake, Doom, and the Elder Scrolls series.
Make Doom and Elder Scrolls. I really enjoy Elder Scrolls in general. I've not played all of those because there are a lot of them. I've played a lot of Skyrim. I've played a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. Probably want to keep those. You can't really have Quake without Doom, because Quake's kind of a follow-up to Doom. So if I erased Doom from existence, nobody would know where Quake suddenly came from. So I would probably have to erase Quake from existence, and Doom, probably uninstall then.
Okay, fair enough.
At some point when I'm done with it.
All right, so Phasmophobia, Demonologist, Devour.
Obviously keep Phasmo. Even though I'm currently a little bit tired with playing it, I would still keep it because I keep going back to it. Demonologist can be erased from existence because I really didn't enjoy it. I played the demo for 5 minutes. Thought it was just a very weird Phasmo clone. They even copied the 3-second sprint. I think it's a very lazy game, and it's more of a haunted house game than a ghost investigation game. I'm glad when people can enjoy it. But probably if it was erased from existence, there's probably not much we'd miss. And Devour, not played. I've seen it occasionally. I would probably play that a little bit, and then I could uninstall it.
Okay, so Visage, Madison, Five Nights at Freddy's.
I don't know the second one at all. I've seen someone else play Visage, and I never really liked any of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, so I don't know. I'm feeling really neutral about all of them.
Fair enough, we can skip. No problem.
Yeah.
Alright, so Walking Dead, The Mortuary Assistant, and Dead Rising.
I don't think I know Dead Rising.
It is a third-person zombie survival slasher game where you play in a very silly way. It's like you use very weird or very funny things, like probably even adult toys to kill zombies with.
Oh, okay. I would probably try that then and uninstall it. Mortuary Assistant, I've occasionally watched. I like watching that every now and then. I've not played it. Would probably want to have it and keep it then. And Walking Dead, delete from existence only because I'm still traumatized from how bad the second season of the show was.
The show or the game?
The show.
Okay.
So everything connected to that probably has to go to delete that trauma.
No worries. Alright, so DBD, Dead by Daylight, TCM or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Dead by Daylight is my discomfort game. I don't like watching it. I have it in my collection somewhere. I picked it up for free. It was free at some point. I tried installing it twice, and twice I changed my mind while it was installing. I don't know. Something about the sound and the graphics just makes me really uncomfortable. And when friends of mine are streaming it, I don't usually watch that at all. And I don't know enough about the others. They seemed very similar to Dead by Daylight and I don't know. And probably would remind me of Dead by Daylight and make me uncomfortable
we
as
can
well.
probably
So
use a
can I
joker
have
and delete them.
Yeah, let's use a joker.
All right, so they're all gone. Project Zomboid, 7 Days to Die, and The Last of Us.
Project Zomboid looks really fun. I think it's something that I would put on my wish list. I don't know how long I would play it. Maybe that's something that I would want to keep. That's hard to decide. I watched playthroughs of The Last of Us, and I enjoyed watching it for the story, but I actually want to play it. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to decide. Maybe you can skip that.
Okay,
I can't
no
really...
worries. So, Little Nightmares, the Alien series, and Silent Hills.
I think could remove Silent Hill from existence because I never really had much interest in that. I think keep Alien because I really like the whole Alien universe in all the movies, and maybe not all the games. I really liked Alien Isolation. There are probably a bunch of other Alien games as well that I don't even know about.
Have you heard that they are making a second Alien Isolation game? They announced it.
I think I've heard about that, yeah.
Okay. So the last ones are Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, and Tomb Raider.
I would keep Tomb Raider because I kind of grew up with the original games, and I really liked some of the recent Tomb Raider games. I have a few of them in my library, and I would maybe I don't really know if I would want to try Assassin's Creed or Uncharted. I've only heard about those. I've never actually played them or seen much gameplay.
I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed, and I highly recommend you try it. Assassin's Creed is like you kind of go back or play as an assassin, like history, geography. Like you can climb, you can kill others, other bad guys and stuff. It's a really fun franchise. Even though recently the community has been very upset about the direction or what Ubisoft is doing with the games, but I am not bothered, honestly. Like, it's still a good franchise.
I'll try and delete Assassin's Creed then and remove Uncharted from existence because I know the least about that.
It's uninstall and delete and play. So
okay,
because you deleted Uncharted and you removed from existence, so it's both the same thing.
Okay.
All right. So this is a quick mini game. It's called Rename the Game. So the goal of this mini game consists of coming up or changing one word from a game's title and replacing it with a given word. Let's say, for example, the word is Bean. Let's say, for example, I will say Alan Bean, and you will say probably Grand Theft Bean. I'll say the Bean Descendant, you'd say Bean Flipper, etc. We'll take turns. It's all improvised. We have 2 minutes.
Okay.
We have to just change, as I said, one word from any game. Like, even if I said, for example, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, you can say another Elder Scrolls game, but it doesn't have, it shouldn't be the same game that I said.
Okay.
All right.
I'll give it a try, but you'll have to make the start because I'm...
Yeah, I always start. So the word today is ghost. And I will start with Age of Ghost. You can look in your
Among
Steam
Ghosts.
library. You can look in your Steam library as well.
Among Ghosts.
Okay. Ghost Cry.
I have a lot of games with ghosts in my library already. A Ghost in Time.
Okay. Assassin's Creed Ghost.
Half Ghost 2.
Dying Ghost.
Ghost Simulator.
Tom Clancy's The Ghost.
Ghost Topoly Plus.
Ghost or Planet Ghost.
Once Ghost.
Cooking Ghost.
The Ghosts.
Sid Meier's Ghost 7.
Ghostaria.
Ghost Rising.
Ghost Frame.
Dead Ghost.
The Ghoster.
Grand Ghost Auto.
Ghosty Island.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Ghost.
Ghost Lady.
Cult of the Ghost.
It Takes Ghost.
Batman Ghost Asylum.
Ghost and Conquer.
Nice. That's all the time we have for this segment. All right, so this is the final segment, which is the mental health part.
Mhm.
In this segment, we'll be talking about a lot of things between mental health and life experience. So when I asked
Yes.
Cassie about like choosing a topic, and I suggested probably speaking about the transition, like sexual transition, and she said like
Yeah.
it's a mix of things. So I will let her just tell us from A to where she is right now. Probably in details, probably brief. It's up to her. Just, I'm not gonna ask any questions. I'm not gonna talk. Let her talk. And go ahead, Cassie.
Okay. I will try to be somewhat brief and not go too much into detail
No
because
worries.
it's kind of a really long story. When it comes to realizing who I was, I'm kind of a late bloomer when it comes to that because there's always been something else going on in my life that kind of took up a lot of space and distracted me from myself. When I was still very young, my mother got sick. She just suddenly collapsed when my parents were getting ready to meet with friends, and she just suddenly collapsed, and turned out she had a brain tumor, and she was sick for a very long time, and then she passed away after that, and that kind of accompanied me when I was growing up, and then it was really tough for me and my father as well, and he never really got over it, and well, I had grown up by then, and I had moved away to the city, quite a bit away from where I actually grew up, and he never really got over the loss of my mother, and kind of just slowly, well, he didn't take care of himself. Let's leave it at that. And then he passed away because his health was really bad as well. So I kind of lost I mean, I was already an adult at that point, but still way too young to have lost both your parents, and then I became a parent myself, basically around the time when I lost my father. I became a parent myself, and then that was like the main thing happening in my life. And so there was always something else that overshadowed my own state of mind, my own hopes and feelings, and like looking into myself, how I felt about things, and I think what mostly allowed me to express myself and deal with how I felt was games, playing games online with friends, becoming a character that I enjoyed being, and then I just started realizing that I only wanted to play female characters, and at some point I also noticed that I felt more comfortable with people also addressing me that way when we play together. And so I also came into contact with other people who felt similar about themselves, and I learned about what it meant to be transgender. And I didn't really, I mean, I kind of knew that this existed, but I never really had I just never had any space in my head to think about it before then. And I realized this is something that is happening to me as well. This is, I just want to live and express myself the way that I feel in that I represent myself in the games. I want to express myself and represent myself that way in in the rest of my life as well. That is where I feel comfortable. That is where I feel myself. And it just took a long time to get to that realization, because there was always something that was much bigger than myself in my life overshadowing that. So, but and there's still a lot of steps that I have to take, a lot of the path ahead of me. But this is, yeah, I've come so far, and yeah.
Yeah, that's very like life-changing. I know that change doesn't happen overnight, because I also have a friend who also transitioned, that I knew from childhood. He went from female to male, and he was very nervous about telling me. And when he finally found the courage to do it, I was like very accepting, very happy that he told me, that he even probably trusted me. That's what I can say. But like, it's not at all easy to just like do it. And some people think, oh well, no, that thing probably you're born with it. No, you're not quite born with it. It's just like you're born a certain person or a certain gender, and then you discover with time that this is not what you're supposed to be, or you don't feel that you're that gender. So I kind of like not witnessed or not feel or not understand, but like I know the struggles. All right, Cassie, thank you so much for the time. That's basically all the time we have for this episode. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for inviting me.
Always a pleasure. And guys, go check Countess Cassie on Twitch. It's the episode handle, Countess_Cassie. Cassie is Cassie because some people write it with Y at the end. Go check her out. Go give her a follow. Go try and just troll her back if that's a thing as well. And
I never troll anyone.
Yeah, that's what they all say until like you do it. I always say that, and like I always end up doing it just for funsies. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye bye.